Hello, hello! Thank you for joining me today. This video is the very late Makeup Empties for 2021. Usually I try to get this video out at the very end of the year or the very beginning of the next year, but here we are more than halfway through February and I still haven't gotten around to filming it. So that is what we're going to be doing today. This bag is all of the makeup that I finished last year. So I'm going to pour it all out, put it into categories, and then show you everything one by one. Okay, I think that's everything in frame, and I don't really have them in order. I tried to just have them by category. So I have 4 setting sprays over here. One of them is the De-Slick. This is really similar to the All-Nighter. I couldn't really tell a difference between the two. And I really like this. Urban Decay, I can't even tell you how many bottles of their setting spray I've gone through over the years. I have 2 of the All-Nighters in my collection currently, just a staple and an old favorite. This one here from Flower Beauty, this one was also nice. It was a mattifying one. It did keep me from getting too oily throughout the day. I can't say it was just as effective as the Urban Decay All-Nighters, but it was still good. I shut off the light. I think that might make this a little bit easier to see, but that's what it looks like. It does have a more perfumey scent whenever you first apply it, but that does go away pretty quickly. And yeah, I thought this was really nice. This one from e.l.f. This one was not a mattifying setting spray. It says Matte Magic Mist and Set, but I don't really feel like it did that. This just really helped keep the powdery look down, kept me from looking too mattified. But yeah, it was okay. Just something that I used more to wet eyeshadows and stuff. Not really something that I would use whenever I wanted longevity out of my makeup. And this last one here is from Morphe, and this one is it's called the Continuous Setting Mist. I don't think it has anything in it that would keep you matte or keep you from getting oily throughout the day. It was definitely like the more dewy type of spray, and I use this a ton to wet eyeshadows. I would also use it whenever I felt like my skin looked really dry and maybe I'd put too much powder on or something, and I did want to bring some life back to my skin. I used it for that. It had a really nice mister on it, but yeah, not something that I feel like I need again. I only used up one primer, and that is this one from Catrice. It was the Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. I really liked this. I liked this a lot. It was very similar to the Smashbox Primerizer, and if you do like these types of primers, I think this is a really great thing to try. I'm currently using a glowy primer from Charlotte Tilbury that I think is just fine, but I would like to come back and get another one of these once I've worked through some of my other primers. I have some mascaras here. I'll be honest, the majority of these I didn't like. I didn't like the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. I didn't like the Warrior Princess from Flower. I didn't like the NYX Worth the Hype. I do go into much more detail in like my empties videos and stuff about these. These were just okay. I didn't really love the formulas and I didn't really like the brushes either. I have 2 minis here from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Legendary Lashes one, and I think I'm using the same one right now. I have another mini that I'm working through, and then I have a full size, and this one is okay. Like, I don't hate it, but for it being like $32 full price, I would never pay that myself. And then this one, the Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. I really liked this one a lot. I think the formula is good, but I also really love the brush. It's kind of like a spikier rubber bristle brush. I do prefer that over like a more natural, softer bristle brush. This one was really good. I liked this a lot because the formula kept my lashes up. Like, I could curl them and apply this and they would stay up for a long time. I have some brow products here. I usually go through a brow gel from Essence pretty regularly. This one was in the shade Soft Brownie Brows. I have the one in Blondie Brows now, just because I do prefer a less dark brow. But yeah, this is good. It's one that I've used for years and I think it's a good brow gel. It does exactly what I need it to do. And then I have 2 micro brow pencils from NYX. One of them is in the shade Taupe, which is a really great match for me, and then the other one is in the shade Ash Brown, which I would use kind of on the tail end of my brows. I wouldn't wear them all over my brow, and I would definitely use a light hand whenever applying that one. If I'm gonna get another brow pencil, I probably would just get more of this in Taupe. And then this one here is a pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Finally used this up. It took literal years to finish it. Huge accomplishment. not buying another pomade again. I just don't have the mental capacity to try to finish one of these again. I finished 2 eyeshadow primers. This one from Makeup Revolution, the Cut Crease Canvas in the shade Illustrate. I really liked this one. It was like a tinted product, and I don't think they make this anymore. If they did, I would buy it again. And then this other one I really, really liked too. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's just a mini of their eye primer, and this one was really light. It was almost white, very pigmented but liquidy, and it set down and created a really nice base for my eyeshadow colors to pop. Would definitely consider purchasing this one again as well. I only used up 1 eyeliner pencil. This is from CoverGirl, and it was in the shade Dark Brown. I don't remember what exactly the shade name was, but it was a dark brown color, and I really like this. I've gone through so many of these since I started wearing eyeliner in like high school, and I really like that it has this sponge tip. I think that's really great for blending. I went through 2 concealers. This first one is a super size of the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C7. This is my second tube that I've gone through. I really like it. It's a really great creamy concealer. It looks very natural. Like, it doesn't look exactly like your skin, but it just has a nice coverage, and it just looks nice on the under eyes. Oops. I would definitely consider purchasing that one again. And then this one from Cover FX, it's the Power Play. I'm in the shade G Light 2. If I were to get it again, I'd probably do something a little bit more neutral. This was quite yellow. And this is nice too. Definitely a thinner formula, but still had nice coverage. I don't feel anything special about this concealer necessarily, and there are so many other concealers out there on the market that I want to try, so I'm not going to run out and buy this one again. For bronzers, I used up this one from Cover FX in the shade Sunkissed, and then I used up the Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer, which I think was the lightest shade, or like the second to lightest shade. I ended up mixing these together into one pan once I hit pan on both of these and finishing it that way. They're very, very light. This one from Cover FX, I don't think they make it anymore, but it was very, very light. So it was great for me whenever I didn't want too much of a bronzed look. I use a lot less bronzer than I used to. I used to go through bronzer very quickly, and now it takes me a lot longer, and I prefer a more natural looking bronze. So I really liked it for that. The Butter Bronzer was the same way. It did have a little more pigment than the Cover FX one, but it was very skin-like and blendable and beautiful. So liked these ones both a lot. Again, there are so many bronzers out there that I want to try though. I am very, very surprised at the amount of highlighters that I used up this year. I mean, granted, the majority of them were minis and liquids, but still. So this is a mini of the NYX Born to Glow. This is in the shade Sunbeam. This had like a light pink reflect to it, and I use this mostly as a foundation mixer to make my foundations look a little more skin-like. Really liked this. I would consider purchasing a full size in the future. And this is really similar to the Wet n Wild liquid highlighter that they have. I don't remember what it was called, but I had panned one of those, I think, the previous year. And then I used up this mini from Cover FX, the Drops in Moonlight. I loved these. I don't know why, but I thought these were discontinued, but then I think someone in the comments mentioned that they still sell this. So I might have to look that up and get these again, because these are just so stunning. And I've gone through another mini size of this before. So if they sell the minis or have those available somehow, I would definitely love to get my hands on that. Because I feel like the giant one, there's no way I'd be able to get through that before it expired. And then I have another mini. This is from Benefit. It's the What's Up highlighter, and I dug this out. I got everything I could out of here, and I loved this. This looks so nice on the cheeks. I wish Benefit was cruelty-free. I would absolutely go out and buy a full size of this. This was so beautiful. And then this is another mini. This is from Cover FX. It's their highlighter in the shade Moonlight. This was a really nice champagne highlighter. It definitely had a beautiful glow on it. Definitely not as blinding as the Moonlight Drops from Cover FX, and just had a really beautiful more natural finish. I mean, it didn't look like your skin, like you could tell you were wearing some type of makeup product, but it was just very, very beautiful and subtle. And I don't think that they sell this. I don't think they make this anymore, which is a shame. On top of those 4 minis, I also finished 2 full-size highlighters. The first one was a limited edition shade from Becca in the shade Berlin Girl Glow. This was kind of like a champagne, more cool-toned highlighter. I do have another one of these in my collection. I'm really glad I did. Not only was it a limited edition shade, but also Becca is no longer a brand. And then this was one of my oldest highlights. I had already had pan on it before I started panning it this year, and that's the Mary Luminizer from The Balm. This was a beautiful champagne, slightly gold highlighter. Very, very intense and blinding. Definitely not my taste anymore. Not something I would go out and buy again. I loved using it. I really enjoyed using it, but it's just not really who I am anymore, so I probably won't buy it again. And then I finished 2 blushes, a full-size powder and then a cream blush. This one from Charlotte Tilbury was in the shade Peachgasm. This was beautiful. I loved the healthy sheen that it left on the cheeks. I would maybe be interested in trying the Pinkgasm shade, but I have the highlighter in the shade Spotlight, and that one is very similar, like the kind of sheen that it gives. It's still very beautiful. So I think I might just use that instead. Just because the actual pigment in here wasn't enough to be a cream blush on me. So I kind of was using it and loved it more for like the reflect that it left, more so than the flush. And also I don't feel like I got enough uses out of this for how expensive this is. It's like $38 full price. So I will continue to enjoy the Spotlight, the highlighter, and probably won't purchase this one again. And then the other one was a powder blush from Hourglass. It was in the shade Incandescent Electra. It was a really pretty coral shade. This was from their ambient lighting blush line, and this definitely was a very glowy blush. I really enjoyed it, and it felt really good to finish a full-size blush. That like barely ever happens to me. I finished 2 powder foundations. Both of these are ones that I really like and would consider getting again. The Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation from NYX in the shade Nude, and then the Makeup Revolution one in the shade P5.7. I really liked both of these. I have another one of the Makeup Revolution one in my collection already, and these are both really good. I really like powder foundations, and it feels like a lot of brands are coming out with new ones, so maybe I'll test some new formulas out in the future. I finished 3 liquid foundations, and I really liked all 3 of them. The Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation is a favorite. It's a long time favorite. I think I've gone through 2 bottles of this already, if not 3. Beautiful formula, beautiful level of coverage. I'm in the shade 1.05, which has a very slight olive undertone, which is fantastic. Would definitely purchase this again. The one from Urban Decay, it's the Naked Skin. I was in the shade 0.5. I would totally buy this again if it wasn't a discontinued product. I don't think they make this anymore. I have one from It Cosmetics, the Your Skin But Better foundation. It's very close, so I will continue to enjoy using that one. And I'm just sad this is gone. It was very liquidy, a very natural type of foundation. I really loved mixing it with higher coverage foundations to get like the perfect level of coverage. Speaking of which, I would usually mix it with this one from Pure. This is the 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Longwear Foundation. I was in the shade LG2, which I think was a pretty good shade match for me. And this is maybe a little bit more full coverage and a little bit thicker than I tend to prefer nowadays. So I probably wouldn't purchase it anytime soon, but I really enjoyed using this. And then I also used up quite a few loose powders, which I typically use loose powder to set my foundation. And the majority of these were either travel sizes or they were mostly finished by the time I actively tried to finish them. This one from Too Faced is the Ethereal Setting Powder, the Born This Way, and this was just okay. I wasn't like blown away by it, and I wouldn't buy it again, but it was good enough to use. And then this one from Flower Beauty, this one was the matte version, and it was kind of like that translucent HD type of powder, which I really like, so I really enjoyed using this. The reason I wouldn't purchase this again is just because the packaging is just like super bulky. It's humongous for how much product you actually get in there, and it just wasn't that enjoyable to use because it doesn't close very easily. So I probably wouldn't buy it again for that reason. Whenever I am in the market to purchase some more powders and I do want to get an HD powder, I'll probably get the RCMA one again. Then I have 2 minis. This is the Cover FX Light Perfect Setting Powder. This one I really liked, but I do still prefer the translucent HD powders over like the regular powders, so I probably wouldn't buy that one again. And then this one was a mini from Bare Minerals. It was the Mineral Veil. This kind of had like a slight pinky tint to it, so I would use it to set my under eyes, and it was just okay. Like, nothing remarkable about it. It was nice and soft, like it felt finely milled, but I tend to prefer the Violet Setting Powder from Besme, which I have here. They don't sell it in the loose version anymore, So I did finish it and I really liked it, but I have the pressed powder version now, and that's what I use to set my under eyes, to set my concealer, and I love it. It has like a very, very slight violet undertone, which is really nice and brightening on my skin. So definitely love the Besame one. And then the very last products I have to talk about are all the lip products I used up. I feel very proud and accomplished to have finished this many because typically lip products take me forever to use up. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So I used 4 of the mini Tower 28 lip glosses, and these, they had a slight tint to them, but they were really just kind of like clear lip glosses with a very slight tint, and I really liked these. I would love to get some full sizes once I work through some of the other lip glosses in my collection. I don't know where I heard it, but I'm under the impression that the Tower 28 ones, maybe because of the way they're formulated or what, they tend to expire more quickly. So whenever I purchase one, I do want to make sure I am in a place where I can actively use it and finish it before it expires. I would really like to try their milky glosses, which I think are the same formula as this, but they just have like a slightly milkier look to them. And I wish more brands would come out with lip gloss minis. I thought that was really smart. A full-size lip gloss I finished and loved was the Collagen Lip Bath from Charlotte Tilbury. This one was in the shade Pillow Talk. I got another one of these in a mystery box from Charlotte Tilbury, and then I purchased a 3-pack whenever they were on sale for like 30% off. So I do have 4 more of these full sizes in my collection. Really love it. I love this formula. I've talked about it multiple times and yeah, I'm glad to have more of these in my collection. I finished 2 tinted lip balms from NYX. I can't even tell you how many of these I've gone through over the years. These have been a staple. I keep one in my backpack, I keep one in my vanity, on my bedside table. These are just really soft and nourishing lip balms that I can buy in bulk and just keep in different parts of my house and just, you know, have them on me at all times. I finished a tinted lip balm from ColourPop, the Just a Tint in the shade The Strand. I do like these types of tinted gloss stick products, and I have one from Ulta that I really like, and even though Ulta doesn't have the shade range that ColourPop does, the ones from Ulta don't have a fruity scent or taste like these ones do, which I'm not a fan of. So just because of that, I wouldn't repurchase this, but I would be interested to get more like tinted gloss sticks like it, just ones that don't have any taste or scent. And I used up a full-size lipstick. This is Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. I remember that I dug out everything and I used it as a cream blush once I couldn't apply it to my lips anymore. And I think I used this up towards the beginning of the year, and I have been trying to work on other lipsticks. I'm currently trying to pan one right now, and I am on track to finish it definitely before the end of the year. But yeah, I feel like it's pretty much 1 lipstick a year for me. Like, these take me forever to use up. And then I used up 3 lip pencils. These also take a long time to use up. All 3 of these were very, very well used by the time I actively tried to start panning them. I have NYX Bed Rose, which I really like and would consider repurchasing. I have Peekaboo Neutral from NYX, I have already repurchased. And then Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury, which again I have already repurchased. These are really beautiful, like staple shades. Ones that I use all the time, and I do really like using lip liners. I have quite a few from the NYX Slim Pencil formula because I really like that formula and their color range. And yeah, it feels good to have used up 3 pencils. These definitely take me a long time to finish. And that is everything I've used up. I will put the dollar amount on the screen here for you to see like the total dollar amount of products that I've used up this year. If you would like to see my comparisons over the years, like from the time I started tracking, I think in 2018, all the way to the present, talking about how much I've spent each year versus used up, what percentage of it was cruelty-free versus non-cruelty-free. I break it up into eyes, lips, face categories, etc. If you'd like to see that, I do have a video about all the products I've used up, comparing them to other years. I do have a video like that, and I'll put that in the cards. I do apologize for getting this out so late. I just, you know, had other stuff that I wanted to film, and then by the time I got around to doing it, it was 6 weeks later than I normally do. I hope that's okay, but in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.